Get strong.
You know, the commutative property has all to do about order. When you think about order and it comes to mathematics, and sometimes you have like, addition, you want to know what should I do first? Should I do 2 plus 1 plus 2 or 2 plus 3 plus 4? Does it matter? Well, commutative property is applicable to addition. It doesn't matter which order you do it. You're going to get the same answer. But when it comes to subtraction, it's not the same. Subtraction order does matter. And the reason why this is important, and you want to make sure your child understands this and knows this, is because when they get to higher forms of math, they may have a whole line of expressions and a whole expression with many different terms and many aspects and parts of a different problem that they have to do, and they have to figure out what to do first. And sometimes it doesn't matter how they approach it. They can approach it one way or approach it another way. They'll still get the right answer. And sometimes it does matter. And this is kind of where it begins. Helping to understand about order and the commutative property when it applies to addition is one of the first steps you take into understanding how to do that. So here's some information coming up.
So does order matter when it comes to addition? Let's talk about this a little bit. Is that a yes or no? Does it matter when it comes to addition? Let's take a look at the commutative property. And it's all about order in general. It's just about order. So let's look at this in terms of a number line. Let's say I start out the number 1 and I want to go up 2. And so if I go up 2 from number 1, I'll be at 3. And if I go up another 2 from 3, I'll be at the number 5. So essentially what that's telling me right there is that 1 plus 2 plus another 2 is equal to 5. So how about if I switch the order of this? What if I started off at 2 instead of 1? What if I switch the order of this? Would I end up at the same place? And this is kind of what this is saying. Let's take a look. Let's say if I did 2, I started out at 2, then I added 1 to that. Well, I'd be at 3 at that point. And then at 3, what if I added another 2 that way? Well, I'd end up again right at 5. So what that's essentially telling us is that no matter how you do it, when you're just adding up numbers, it doesn't matter how you add them up. It doesn't matter the order. The order does not matter when it comes to addition. You can switch these numbers around. As long as you're adding up, you're going to end up at the exact same place. You're going to end up with the exact same total. But is that true when it comes to subtraction? Let's see if that the same thing is true. Let's say I have 2 and I subtract 1. So I'm going to go left on the number line. 2 minus 1. What will that get me? Well, that'll get me at 1, right? So 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. Well, we're going to see that when it comes to order and subtraction, it does matter which way you do it. It does matter. So let's say instead of 2 minus 1, I had 1 minus 2. And I just switch the numbers around. 1 minus 2, well, I'll end up at a totally different place. I'll end up at negative 1 instead of 1. I'll end up at a different place on the number line. My answer will be different. So when it comes to subtraction, order does matter when it comes to subtraction. So just a couple things. There's just 2 things you need to remember. When it comes to grouping and order, they do not matter when it comes to addition. Whatever way you group it, however you order it, you're still going to get the same result when it comes to addition. But when it comes to subtraction, how you order something does matter. So does order matter when it comes to addition? No. Does order matter when it comes to subtraction? Yes.